welcome to the Anaheim Bowl. Here is another request that I've had from some folks up at the cheaper seats up at the bar there. It's an old Air Force number. He was in the Air Force for 12 years. It's called Zip Up Your Jacket and Fly. Oh, before I do that, though, have you heard it before? It's real tricky. Zoom. Oh, boy. Look at the smoke from that cigar. Didn't know my girl liked to smoke till she grabbed my butt. Cigar. Now, yes. Now, what's his name? Al. Is that Al, you rascal? What's your favorite piece, Al? Oh, no. No pointing, just name the tune, you know. Okay, Al. No, I knew Al. I just haven't seen him in, let's see, when was it? 1947, I believe it was. I remember the suit. Now, Al, we're going to do this song for you. And here's a lovely couple. There's a lovely couple. Are you folks married? Oh, no, they're not. They're from Sacramento. Now, let's see, just practicing. You folks there, you're late. Did you bring a note? Who is that? Oh, good evening. Welcome, sir. Here's a song here for the folks that just came in. They're a little late. We expected them earlier. They're celebrating their fifth anniversary, I believe it is. There's their 6-year-old son down there. Hello, Junior. Now, hello, Junior. Now, this is a detective skit. I hate to call it. In fact, this guy had his own office right next to the G-Men. You've heard of G-Men? That's what the two old maids said when they found some under their bed. G-Men. Well, he had a Secret Service girl with him. He keeps her undercover girl. There was a knock at the door. He said, "Answer that door, Poopsie." She says, "What did it say?" What did it say? Get out of here. She's real dumb. She thought bisexual was when you paid for romance. Now, just then a girl says, "Hey, someone stole $40 out from under my garter." And I said, "Didn't you feel him reaching up there?" And she says, "I don't know what he was reaching for." She's a real eccentric broad there. She wears big black garters in remembrance of those that have gone beyond. Now, I started walking along the street, you know. I noticed this girl hustling along beside me, and she had a mattress on her back. Well, you know, she said she was a delivery girl for a furniture store, but, you know, I'm a suspicious copper. I figured it might be curb service. So I tailed her, followed her. She walked up to a cab driver, and she says, "Do I pay before or after I get on?" He says, "You pay before you get on." She says, "What a coincidence, same as my racket." She says, "I'm a cab driver, too." She's a real coward, though. We call her a yellow cab driver. Trouble was, her passengers wanted to go too far for the money. Well, she walked into this bar. She threw a $5 bill on the bar. The bartender says, "Ma'am, that $5 bill is counterfeit." My God, she says, "I've been raped." Now, raped? Well, that's when I walked in. So I made a lunge for her, and she made a lunge for me. So we had lunge together, and whale tail under glass. No, it takes too long to make, 20 years. I says, "Crime doesn't pay." She says, "No, but the hours are good, and you're your own boss." I said, "You sound bitter." She says, "I am. My brother got sent up for rape, you know, assault with friendly weapon." And assault with friendly, you're mixed up. Sober up. Now, and my buddy, he went from China right to Egypt, you know. He had 10 wives. In fact, he used to say, "I can make love to all 10 of them." So they rushed him right to Las Vegas, threw him on the stage of a big nightclub there. The curtain went up, 500 people, but after the third girl, he fainted. The boss refunded everybody's money, grabbed this guy by the neck and shook him and says, "What's the idea?" Well, he says, "I don't know. It must have been the rehearsal." Now, this, get out of here. Now, here is a song that I haven't played in many years. It's called "If You See My Girlfriend Lou Out With Someone New, Don't Tell Me, Let Him Catch It Too." Mambo. It's about this girl. She's a real clown. She went to the doctor one day, and she says, "You know, Doc, I can have one drink and I get all oversexed. What can you do for that? So he gave her 5 martinis and locked the door. Now, he's a great doctor. I went out to his house last Christmas. Their son wanted to watch for Christmas, so they let him. And let's see. And they have cats. I think she has something like 21 cats. The word is she has the biggest cat house in Reno. Santa Claus arrived. He crawled in there. There was this lady. He says, she says, stick around, Santa, and have a drink. He says, no, can't stay. Gotta go. Got toys for the boys. She slipped on a black negligee, and he says, hey, gotta stay. Can't get up the chimney this way. Now, here's a novelty song that I was supposed to do for some friends over in the corner. They're celebrating their 5th payment on their house. It's a little thing called Get Off the Table, Mabel. The $2 is for the beer. Well, I don't like it either, so I changed it. I called it Get Back on the Table, Mabel. I don't drink. Which is a damn lie. I'm very particular what I drink. It must be liquid. Now, here's a song for a buddy of mine. It's a Latin tune. He's from Canada, actually, but he's a lice, too. He saw that sign, Drink Canada Dry, and he damn near did. Boy, he is a boozer. Now, it began to affect his mind, and he started doing everything backwards, like he'd kiss his car and jump on his wife and went to town. No, let's see. No, that's not a good example. I know one it was last winter. He put his winter underwear on, the kind of long flannels. He got them upside down and backwards. He had to let down the flap to brush his teeth. It's really Now, this is the tune. He isn't here tonight. He had to work late. He has a butcher shop right over here. In fact, he had an accident yesterday. He backed up into the meat grinder and got a little behind in his work. Now, and he can't afford to do that either. His car is overdue, and his house is overdue, and his wife was with him that day. Now, he's tending bar tomorrow right here. You'll meet him. He's a real character. The day I met him was at the bar about a week ago. I said, do you serve beer in the can? He says, no, you got to drink it at the bar. And, I went along with the gang. Notice the organ grinder effect? See, over in Italy, they grind these old organs. In fact, while we'd gone down to the pier that day to take a big ship, or a little craft, and while we were down there, we saw this periscope of a submarine going by, And this old Italian fella said, that's a U-boat. And the guy said, no, that's not my boat. Now, yes. Now, and they have this little Italian restaurant, so I walked in, and there was a fly in my soup, I said, what's this fly doing in my soup? Well, she glared at it for quite a while, and she said, it looks like the backstroke. Backstroke, yes. You're probably right. Now, they're here tonight. They're celebrating their 50th anniversary. In fact, they went into this old hotel over here, out on the outskirts of Fullerton. That's where they got married, in room 101, 50 years ago, so he thought it'd be nice to go back to the same hotel for their 50th anniversary. He hobbled in. He's pretty old now, 85. Hobbled on his cane. He says, here it is, honey, room 101, the same room we got married in 50 years ago. He says, remember that night I hardly gave you time to take your stockings off? He says, tonight I'm going to give you enough time to knit yourself a pair. Now this, yes, now this is his favorite song. It's what you might call an old Christine Jorgensen type tune. It was taken from an old hymn. It's called My Johnny Lies Over the Ocean. We were down in Mexico for a while, and I met this little Mexican girl. She says, I'm going north. And I turned to Don Juan there. I said, you're going north too? He said, yep. I said, what are you going north for? He said, oh, they're so friendly. Boy, you go up to Los Angeles, and a guy will give you spending money. He'll let you live at their house free and give you free spending money. I said, this happened to you, Don Juan? He says, no, but it happened to my sister. Now, get out of here. Now, he was plastered on that tequila there. He gets real drunk. In fact, he was in the hotel, and he fell in the open elevator shaft. No elevator. Hit the bottom. said, you okay down there? And he says, yeah, but don't flush it. I mean, the guy thought it was the John. I says, that's not it, you crazy kid. Now, he just drinks to steady his nerves. He was so steady last night, he couldn't move. Now, I said, if I was in your condition, I'd shoot myself. He said, if you were in my condition, you'd miss. Now, just then the phone rang, and they called him to the phone, and his wife says, what the hell are you doing over there in Fullerton? He says, I'm on a buying trip. She says, you be home by next Monday, or I'm going to start selling what you're buying. Now, well, I wasn't feeling too well. This was last Monday. I was in bed with 104, and it got damn crowded. So I went to the doc. So I knocked at the door, and he says, who goes there, friend or enemy? And he had this silly slogan above his door that kept many customers away. It said, when you're at death's door, I'll pull you through. Yeah. Well, Doc, I just haven't been feeling myself lately. Well, he said, you look a lot better, boy. I said, look, I've been drinking for years, and I think it's caught up with me. I got acid indigestion. He says, you eat these little pills, and you can kiss your acid goodbye, boy. Yes. Now, this doc was interrupted. Then there was a phone call, and some lady says, hey, Doc, did I leave my panties in your office? He says, no, ma'am. She says, good, they must be at the dentist. Now, she's that newly-wedded girl. She's a real... In fact, she married a brain surgeon. He says, we're married, and I'm a brain surgeon, and I'm going to Chicago for the brain convention. She says, oh, no, you're not. We're married, and we're going on our honeymoon, Honolulu. He says, nope, Chicago, brain convention. She says, Honolulu, honeymoon. Well, she said, let's flip a coin and see whether it's heads or tails. Now, have you ever been in Vermont? My buddy's a dentist there. In fact, I went to the dentist, and he says, you have nice teeth, Roy, but your gums have got to come out. Well, he says, I can't help you today. I have appointments to fill 18 cavities. So he picked up his golf clubs and left. And he's a real character. He threw 2 golf balls on the desk there. Well, this teenage nurse says, what are those? He says, golf balls. Oh, I see. Well, the next day, he threw 2 more on there, and she didn't want to seem stupid, so she said, I see you shot another golf today. And this dentist was very busy. In fact, his last customer was a young girl there, and she had such a large cavity, she talked with an echo. Right away, he said, what's a place like this doing in a nice girl like you? Well, there's an old saying twisted around. Well, he said, it's too late to drill. The tooth's got to come out. Oh, damn. She says, I just soon have a baby as have a tooth pulled. Well, he says, make up your mind before I adjust the chair. Now, at this time, friends, I'd like to hit a handful of my lower notes and try to sound like a drum for you. I do this one to a Hawaiian love song. It's called Come On, I Wanna Lay Ya. And it was originally done by Jimmy Latex and his rubber band. John, you were there that day. John went ashore and they threw flowers around his neck. He says, flowers around my neck? She said, yeah, in Honolulu, that's a lay. Well, he says, God bless America. All righty, right in there. Thank you very, very, very much. I have a girlfriend, and I met her in a dime store. I walked in, and I said, do you have notions? She said, yes, but I try to suppress them till after working hours. I said, no, what I mean is I'm doing a little shopping here. Do you keep stationery? She says, for a while, and I just go ape. I said, look, I'd like to buy a few things, and it's sort of personal, actually. I want to buy a brassiere. She says, what bus? I says, nothing, it just wore out. No, she says, now you're mixed up. What I mean is, what size? Well, I said, offhand, I couldn't tell you. Yes. Oh, I remember. It's 6 7/8. And she said, 6 7. How did you measure that? And I said, with my hat. Yeah. She says, look, pal, we do have a few brassieres here. Of course, she used to wear one of those living bras. You know, you've heard of those. It committed suicide, said it was leading an empty life. Well, she says, I just had nothing to feed it. Now, oh, she says, we have a new brassiere out. It's a real, it's called a canine bra, or a doggy bra. It makes pointers out of setters. Just then, a big Texan walked in. He says, I hate to break up this little convention, but I'm in a hurry. I'd like to buy a corset. She said, you want to play Tex? Not now. He says, I'm double part. Now, this is their favorite song. It's sort of a love song. I don't know whether you've heard it or not. Western. It's called It's Better to Be Hot and Bothered Than Satisfied and Worried. Is that it? Yeah. I did this little thing in conjunction with ASCAP, and I'm not even a member, so it's sort of a half ASCAP arrangement. In fact, I'll skip the whole damn thing and do this one. Hey, I know a poem about a navel. It's called The Navel is a Useless Thing. I've often heard it said, but it's nice for holding a candle when you want to read in bed. Oh, here's another poem you might like. It's called I Met a Girl Last Fall Who Wore a Newspaper Dress to a Ball. And this newspaper dress, it caught on fire, and it burned her entire front page, sporting section and all. And burnt hell out of her funnies. Burnt all the hair off of B.O. Plenty, and singed the hell out of Dick Tracy. Now, here's a poem that's kept me out of big time for years. It's called Mary Had a Little Watch, and she swallowed it one day, and she took some castor oil to pass the time away. The oil wouldn't work and the time wouldn't pass, and if you want to know what time it is, look up Mary's brother. He has a watch. See, we had a little trouble. I used to have this band. There was 10 of us, and we came in from Ohio into California. They stopped us at the border for fruit inspection. We lost 8 men. Now, and the other guy is here someplace. There he is. I think he's queer, too. Every time I kiss him, he giggles. Now, yes. No, I'm not that way. Don't get any ideas. I may have my mother's features, but I got my father's fixtures. A lot of people think entertainers are odd fellows, you know. We're not. We wear a little satin on our cuffs, you know, and everything. But I'm not. I turned to my wife today and I said, Bruce, now, I'm going to cut out these impressions about queers here. They've been doing them too well. What worries me is I'm beginning to like it. Well, now, as a rule, I drink nothing stronger than pop, and he'll drink anything. Once he drank some beer from an old tomato can. The beer didn't hurt him, but an old tomato can. Now, I don't understand that one either. Now, this, I just received another drink from my doctor. He's sort of a nut. He mixed it up for me. It's milk of magnesia and vodka. It's called a Phillips screwdriver. Phillips screwdriver. I think I'll lay off of that stuff. As the needle said to the thread in the nudist colony, so what? So what? You know, I went to a nudist colony once, and I knocked on the door. This big burly guy came to the door, and I said, you must be the butler. He said, you're right. How'd you know? And I said, well, I can see you're not the maid. Now, yeah. There's another tricky one, isn't it? You figure them out. I'll just sort of... Now, this, I feel I'm losing you, so I'm going to move on to something else. It gets so quiet in here, you can hear the zippers in the men's room. Now, but don't write on the wall. We don't want to have that. And you don't write on the wall, do you, sir? And the ladies, they write on the wall, too. Sometimes the ladies write more than the men. They have both hands free. Laugh it up. That's the old spirit. I went for a physical checkup, and this nurse says, hop right in bed, and I'll be right with you. How's that again? She's a very friendly nurse. Only nurse I met that could make a patient without disturbing the bed. Make the bed without disturbing... Well, anyhow, she was registered. And a hell of a swimmer. We used to see her under the dock, down at the pier. She went to the doctor about 6 months ago, and she says, hey, doc, right? He said, right, you're going to become a mother. Oh, goodness. She says, what position will I be in when I give birth? Well, hell, Nell, he said, I imagine you'll be in the same position you're in when the baby was conceived. Oh, she says, don't tell me I have to stick my feet out that truck window again. This, get out of here. This, clown that I'm mumbling about, he got sent up for statutory rape, I believe they called it. Of course, if he'd known it was a statue, he wouldn't have tried. Boy, was he stoned that night. He just took her for granted. Now, I'll go back to my old job, smuggling Gentiles into Florida. Or I can go over to this bloomer factory. I worked there for a while. I used to pull down about 30 a week. Then I went right into a ladies' ready-to-wear shop, and I talked this lady into buying this black negligee. The next night, I talked her out of it. Told her to wait and we'd have a sale. She says, "Look, pal, I'll buy a pair of panties if you put them on for me." I says, "I couldn't do that. I'd get fired." So after I was fired, we went back to San Francisco, and as we pulled in under the Golden Gate Bridge, you could hear the foghorn. So I wrote a song. It's called "I Took Her Out in the Fog and Mist." Oh, let's see. My girl was sitting on the bridge. She's a tall, skinny girl with her feet dangling in the water. Very tall and very skinny. She used to swallow an olive to hold up her panties. Now, well, I lied about that. It was a walnut. Now, she swallowed a walnut and 4 guys left town. Now, very thin and not too well. You might have read about her in the San Francisco Examiner. She fell through a hole in her panties and hung herself. Now, impossible. Gotta have an imagination for these. Are you drunk, sir? Oh, all right. Now, here is the native rhythm that they used on this Hawaiian number. We had them right on the ship with us. And my buddy was hanging over the rail, all green-colored. I said, "I see you have a weak stomach." And he says, "Heck, I have. I'm throwing it as far as anybody." Just then, a guy come running up the stairs. He says, "Gangway, gangway, I just had 12 beers in a row. Gangway, get out of my way." And the captain says, "You can't do that out on deck here, sir." And he says, "I'm not. I'm going to do it way over there." Hit him below. Now, there was a whale out there squirting water way in the air, and 2 old maids were watching. Finally, one of them says, "I see no reason why that animal should lie on its back and show off that way." Now, yes. Now, these are pretty bad, aren't they? Well, all the virgins, raise your hands. Now, one arm, how about that? We got a sexy crowd tonight. All right. Now, we do this song for Al over here. He works in an office over here with 32 girls. Right, Al? And he picked out the prettiest one. He says, "Hey, tomorrow's my birthday. Let's you and me sneak out and celebrate my birthday. You're the prettiest girl out of the whole office staff here." Well, they went to her apartment, killed a 5th of whiskey, turned the lights down low. She says, "Al, I'm going into the bedroom. You come on in the bedroom in about 5 minutes." At the end of 5 minutes, Al ripped off all of his clothes, ran up to the bedroom door. A sweet young voice has come right in. He walked in, and there was the whole office staff singing, "Happy Birthday."